What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. I hope you guys are doing well. Ever since Microsoft acquired Activision, there's been a question within the Call of Duty community as to when Call of Duty is going to become available on Xbox's Game Pass. This is the big thing that Microsoft is pushing now. They want Game Pass everywhere throughout this industry. They want more and more companies to release their games on Game Pass because they want to become the one-stop shop for all your gaming needs, your one-stop subscription. And one of the games that's missing on Game Pass is Call of Duty. Yet Microsoft owns them. So we know it's an inevitability that Call of Duty will end up on Game Pass. We just don't know when and what. Now, personally, I'd love to see some of the classic Call of Duty games get on there first before the current gen, just because, I've played MW3, I've played MW2. Give me Black Ops 3 on the Game Pass so I can play it on my PC or I can play it on my Xbox One and have a rejuvenation of a population playing that game. Bring back MW2, bring back Black Ops 1, whatever it might be, right? And give the player base that opportunity. But eventually, at some point, the current Call of Duty game will have to be accessible on Game Pass. And there's talk that that might be Black Ops 5 this fall. And if Call of Duty is available day one, release day on Game Pass, how is that going to affect both the revenues of Call of Duty and the community of Call of Duty? Because I've argued many times that one of the biggest detractors for Call of Duty is its barrier to entry. It is one of the only games in this genre of its competitors that has a price tag associated to it. Look at what Halo Infinite did. Free-to-play multiplayer. Apex Legends, Fortnite, X-Defiant, all of these are free-to-play. And then you have games like Rainbow Six Siege and CSGO 2 that have smaller price tags. They don't have an $80, $90 price tag associated with it. So immediately, I'm thinking, okay, if Call of Duty is available day one, more people are going to have access to it. More people are going to want to play it. And it's going to do exactly what Microsoft wants, which is increase Game Pass subscribers. That's what they want here. It's not about accessibility necessarily. It's about driving that number up because that's what they need. They need something to prop up Game Pass's numbers, considering the fact that they're closing studios left, right, and center recently because Game Pass isn't working as intended. It's not helping out every single developer, as developers are just getting breadcrumbs at this point in time. So if Call of Duty comes on board, do more developers get more access to the revenue, or is it all going to get funneled to Call of Duty and in turn squeeze out more of these developers? And on top of that, what does Call of Duty, the current game, coming to Game Pass mean for the price? Because a lot of people fear that it'll just raise the price. And all of a sudden, you're 3 months into a Game Pass subscription, you have a Call of Duty game that you solely play on Game Pass, and you've already spent more than what the game's worth. Why did you do that? You're not accessing everything Game Pass has to offer, which is exactly what Microsoft wants, mind you. So it's a really smart play on their part. But is it for the benefit of the community to have Call of Duty on Game Pass or not? It's definitely to the benefit of Microsoft, potentially, in the short run, because they get an influx of subscribers, they get people that are solely playing Call of Duty, and instead of only getting $70 one time, they're getting $30 recurring month after month after month after month for somebody who's only accessing one, maybe two games on their service, and that's a net win for them. The other way that they win is they create more players into their game because they've removed that barrier to entry. So because they've removed the barrier to entry, now more players are playing their game, which means there's more people having access to the microtransactions that they have in the game, which makes them even more money. So this could be a massive net positive for Xbox. But again, it goes down to how is this going to affect the price? How is this going to affect the other developers that have their games on Game Pass? Are they just going to be overshadowed now by Call of Duty? Are they going to be negatively affected by Call of Duty being on it? So there's a lot of variables here. There's a lot of questions. As much as I want to see Call of Duty on Game Pass, I don't know if it's for the betterment of the franchise, for Game Pass, and for this industry as a whole. Because we know Microsoft wants to create a monopoly for you to have one place to access all your games. And they don't want you to own your games. And I'm still kind of sentimental when it comes to purchasing video games. I like going to a video game store and buying the physical copy of the game and popping discs in and out and sitting there while games update and download onto your console. And I'm fine with it. I can live with that because I like physically owning things. And Game Pass takes that away. And we already know there's this sentiment within the executives over at some of these big gaming companies, most namely Ubisoft, where they don't want you to own things. They want you to just have digital copies of video games. They don't want you to have a full physical copy anymore. And I say that while I look at my array of different video games on the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, the PS4, PS3, Nintendo GameCube. And I think to myself, like, I miss adding more games to this collection. Yes, I still buy physical games, but not to the magnitude that I do now, considering the fact that I've moved some of my gaming onto PC. And all I have for my PC games is a digital copy. And that's kind of sad because part of video games, in my opinion, was always the collecting side of it. You got to have a bunch of different games. And we also have to address the elephant in the room with Call of Duty. Don't forget about their file sizes, guys. So you want to be on Game Pass and you want to have a couple games on Game Pass. Well, Call of Duty is like eating up, 230 gigabytes this year of your hard drive, whether that's over on Xbox, PS5, or on your PC. How many games can you really access with Game Pass as a service when one of them is taking up that much of your hard drive space? It ultimately hinders your experience and your opportunity to explore everything Game Pass has to offer because Call of Duty is holding your hard drive hostage just to play their game every so often. It kind of defeats the purpose of the entire model, in my opinion. So if Call of Duty wants to succeed on the Game Pass, and Microsoft wants the Game Pass to succeed, they have to address the bloating of their file sizes. And they have to fix it. But again, that feels more like a pipe dream than anything near reality. The closest thing to reality right now is that Call of Duty is going to end up on Game Pass. And then Game Pass is going to receive a significant hike in its price. And all of a sudden, the community is going to be very frustrated with the service that they're being delivered for the price they're being asked to pay. Yes, there's benefits to Game Pass. Yes, Game Pass can be awesome. I was able to access some games I never would have tried. I always talk about this, but Dead by Daylight's one of my favorite games. I never would have played that game, accessed its community, been a part of it, unless Game Pass existed. So I thank Game Pass for that, but I wonder if a game as big as Call of Duty needs to be aided by Game Pass. It's an interesting thought experiment. But that's all I have for you guys today. I would love to hear your thoughts on this down below in the comment section. What do you think? Is Call of Duty coming to Game Pass a bad thing or a good thing? Love to hear your thoughts in that comment section. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.